welcome back. 8:40 is the time. Look, lots of you have been getting in touch. Last hour, we were debating whether it can ever be okay to have an affair. Let me read out a selection of some of the views we've had in. Jack says, morning all. I was a sailor. You can see where this is going. For 27 years, and I travelled to 98 countries. Candidly, I cheated in every single country I went to. I was married twice. I loved my wives, but I found it impossible not to cheat. On the other side, Paul says, having been the victim of an affair and after having counselling, I can tell you, forgiveness is not an easy path. It leaves you with a constant suspicion. It could occur again, and there are also deeper issues around PTSD.
I accept that you know, some people say it's impossible not to cheat, but not 98 times. 98 times.
I do think people's views on cheating very much depend on whether they've been the victim of it or whether they've been the one committing it. And I do think that's worth bearing in mind. Anyway, we welcome to the programme the Olympian Chris Akabusi and the former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson, to take us through the papers. And a bit of a interesting one this Dawn about the Brecon Beacons. We were just teasing it before the break then. Brecon Beacons is ditching its name.
I love this story. Yeah, I do love this story. It's basically to be more environmentally friendly, basically. So they are going...
Why? So what's wrong with Brecon Beacons?
The Brecon Beacons, right, and the sign of the Brecon Beacons National Park is a beacon. And that's what they were for. But they're saying now that it's linking the word beacons echoes of wood-burning braziers.
Oh, bore off.
Carbon. I'm just reading it out.
Oh, it's unbelievable what people take offence at.
But they have given it a Welsh language name.
They haven't. Who's going to pronounce it? Go on.
Oh, right.
Is it Brecon Beacon in Welsh?
No.
No.
In Welsh, it is Ban I Brwciniog.
Oh, well done.
I think if you are Welsh, please feel free to correct me because my pronunciation of English isn't great. But yeah, so in any case, going back to the Welsh name, I completely understand. They've done that with Snowdon. It's just this pretense you're doing it for environmental reasons because of the link to wood-burning stoves, which is centuries old. And it's like, by changing its name, what difference is it going to make to the environment?
What I object to is the fact that this is just coming in today with effect. There's been no debate or discussion. It's just happening.
It's just happening, yeah.
Upset about
but
that.
also, who is taking offence over this? It's not... If that historically is what the hills were used for, then do you not want to know that connection?
It's encouraging lighting fires, is it?
And the sign of the national park is actually a beacon, which they're obviously changing because that's offensive.
And does the National Trust own this? Or?
No, I think it's
whoever owns it, write a letter of complaint to them with the words bore off.
I think personally, Eamonn, I'm going to write to the French now complaining about Mont Blanc. I think that's an incredibly racist name. Sorry, they need to change it.
Well, what are you getting at there?
Mont Blanc is white. It's got the name white in it.
White Mountain?
Yes.
Because it's got snow on it.
Yeah, but it's racist. Come on. Get with the plot, Eamonn.
Yeah.
Chris, let's look at the story on the front of the Mail. And I have to say, this stopped me in my tracks when I was going through the papers this morning. And I actually read inside some of the detail. Genuinely shocking statistics. 33 rapes and assaults a week inside our hospitals. People who are there to be treated when they're at their lowest ebb, having sex assaults. It's just vile.
No, it doesn't bear thinking about. And this is one of the times where the headline is milder than the content. And once I read the content, it was absolutely alarming, as you said. 1 in 7 of them happened in hospital wards. And when you think when people go to hospital, they're at their most vulnerable, they are there to convalesce, you would think you'd feel safe in hospital. Now, this was done by the Women's Rights Network, and it was done over the last 3 years.
What, the research?
The research, partly, yeah, thank you very much. Now, when you think the last 3 years we had a pandemic and people were locked away, so actually, this is the tip of the iceberg, because not so many people were accessing hospitals.
Yeah.
And you would think as well, during the last 3 years, there was extra surveillance because of, the pandemic and everyone's got to be clear and clean. So it is really frightening to think. And it's women and children. Obviously, the Women's Rights Network, are there for women, but it's women and children. So there's the ring of the Stoke Mandeville and...
Jimmy Savile.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, yeah.
And like you said, gang rapes. So actually,
gosh.
Sorry to say that, but it's gang rapes and assault on children. So it's coordinated and it's
How come we don't
planned.
read about these things? We don't hear about them.
Well, it comes under, apparently, when it's categorised under the police, it comes under a completely different place. So they had to do the freedom of information
Yeah, to get this.
the data.
Yeah.
So it's not readily
Fantastic
available.
journalism, and
So-
great to highlight it, and I really hope it changes things.
You know what? That's the really scary.
blood-curdling.
Isabel, the really scary thing is that 95.9% no further action is taken on any of these assaults.
It's shocking.
Why?
I don't know. That isn't answered.
There's a story of a 75-year-old woman who...
Oh, this is horrible.
That was the story that devastated
my
me
God.
when I read it this morning. Yeah.
Dawn, let's go to the Star, and we're talking about people start to get treated like an older person when they hit what age?
I haven't actually selected the story because I'm working with you and Chris this morning, honestly. Right, okay.
Naughty.
I'm 62, don't patronise me. That is officially the age we are seen as old. Isabel and I are nowhere near this, obviously. And this is a survey by, it's an alarm firm that they provide the alarms for older people. So obviously got a vested interest in this. But 40% of over 65s felt talked down to by younger folk. Now, to me, men in their 60s are vibrant and thrusting and sexy and all the things that you and Chris are. Eamonn, stop looking at me like that.
I honestly know how old.
old.
I know how old Eamonn is. I work with him every day. You're not telling me you're over 60. Are you?
Oh, bless you.
Genuinely.
64, yeah, bless
What?
you. Yeah.
But it's got no hair. That's why you can't
You're
tell.
like Gary Lineker. I couldn't believe Gary Lineker
Yeah,
was 62.
yeah. Man of a certain age. There we
But
go.
you can't believe I am.
No, I'm saying I work with you every day, and I've been to your birthday parties over the years. I know how old you are, but these people whose age.
That was the
But
implication there, Isabel.
I'll tell you
Very
the
clearly said
point.
at the beginning, I know how old he is.
I'll
but
tell
I
you the
didn't
point
know.
about this. I believe this to be true. It comes as a big surprise to me. I mean, physically, I've had bad health for a number of years, which has aged me, but it has managed to put me in that, what would you say, that pocket, that drawer.
Bracket.
That people can say, oh, well, he's old and he's infirm,
Yeah.
and all that sort of thing. But in my brain, Chris, I don't know about you, but I look and I just laugh at these people. I think that they don't take into account wisdom when you get older, the things that you know. Experience. So
yeah.
you know, and I find it's society's loss if that's what they do. And there's certain areas where it's more prevalent than in others.
Yeah.
Well, we have got a youth-orientated culture, and you know the fashion industry and the makeup industry, and now
Music industry.
everything
Oh.
is going down to.
You're not allowed to age.
No,
basically.
exactly right. And, you know, many ladies, for example, who've been in the public eye have also found it very difficult to mature into their role into their 30s and 40s and
Will you
50s.
stop gesturing at me when
No,
you
I wouldn't do
mature
that.
women?
No, I wouldn't do that at all. But you know, clearly, as you said, with age comes wisdom, comes insight, comes
maturity.
experience.
Why can't people? Why would you feel that you can't sort of be confident to be mature?
I'm singing from your hymn sheet completely here. The big issue, evidently, for people when they really do feel their age and they tend to be more patronised is in tech. It's like, you know, when you're trying to use a QR code in a restaurant or a shop. It's like, just give me a menu. Why do I have to scan a QR code?
I feel like that, and I've just turned 40.
What exactly?
I'm going to be a nightmare when I'm 62.
The thing is, I hated tech when I was 40.
Yeah,
so
same.
I mean, that's not age. That's just tech being very irritating.
Right, we have to leave it there. It's been
Oh.
such fun. Chris Akabusi, Jordan Easton, thank you
Bless
for
you
taking
guys.
us through our Monday morning newspapers. We look forward to seeing you both again very soon.